Hi, everyone. Welcome back. We're very excited to talk about the final season premiere of Game of Thrones. This is Queen's Landing. I'm Gabrielle Bondi, and today I'm joined by our co host, Melissa Byrne,
Hi.
and our guest for this week, Katey Stetzel.
Hello.
Good
So,
evening.
so I think we all kind of said that we're still processing what's going
Yeah,
on.
I'm still like downloading everything I've seen, trying to remember everything still.
Yeah. So, I think I guess the first thing is, Daenerys is at Winterfell and there's tension. People, the Northerners are not very welcoming, as John points out. So I think that's expected.
Yeah,
So it
understand.
kind of, yeah, it's totally understandable. And of course Sansa's not very
Oh,
on board with it. So
yeah.
what did you guys think of that whole greeting and just the tension that it was a tension that carried out throughout the episode?
Well, I
I,
think they start in the right spot, which is Danny and John arriving at Winterfell. Um, because if they had waited on that, that would be weird. But I think there's the right amount of tension that there needs to be, if she just shows up and everyone's like, okay, great, like our savior, whatever,
mhm.
that would ring false too. So I don't know. It's a good amount of tension, but I also think people aren't giving other people the benefit of the doubt, and I feel like there should be some room, should be some room for that, considering, I mean, John's right. They have an entire army of the dead coming their way, and we're still fighting these little like squabbles about titles.
Yeah, I think it's difficult for people who haven't already fought the army of the dead. It's kind of like how you're kind of focused about your own problems at home, and you're not really thinking about the outside things that are happening outside the bubble. Um, But I mean, I completely understand and see why Sansa and the rest of the Northerners are very wary. Like, it's somebody completely new that's not only entering your home, but like now she's your queen. Like he's given the North away. Like they put their trust in him as the king, and then he just gave away kind of his allegiance. So they're kind of pressed, and I could see why. She's coming in, calling herself queen, and they're all supposed to kind of just bow down to her. And I don't think you could flip a switch that quickly. So I think it was a good amount of tension, and it's interesting to see how long that will last.
I mean, we only have 5 more episodes left, which is kind of, crazy as we sort of near the end.
Yeah.
But I think it's starting to set into him, and I kind of liked how they had it in little moments. Like, just one thing was Arya's sort of like her taking Sansa's side, which completely surprises John, and I mean even surprises us to an extent because we know that they've always had like a very. I mean, even the last season kind of showed that they are united. I think this really shows just like Arya's where her true allegiance, is, and it's with her family. And I think that, well, as much as she loves John, I think she's also weary of Daenerys' presence.
Mm-hmm. Completely. Did that
Yes.
kind of live up to your guys' dreams?
Yeah, I really liked it. I think it was a very tender scene. I like that they had it near the tree. And I just thought that I think that that's going to be something that's going to really resonate with John because especially I don't know if you want to jump ahead, but now that he knows who he really is. Um
Yeah, which I'm glad they did not. I think I said it in the last thing that we recorded. Like, this cannot go past episode 2. Like, he
Mhm.
has to know right away because they have to wrap up so many things, and I'm glad that they revealed it in the first episode.
Well, yes, but the whole time, because since John and Danny arrive at the beginning of the episode and Bran is obviously there, I'm like, why are we sitting on this information?
Yeah,
Why
that's
is Bran not immediately going up to tell him?
yeah,
But and at the end, Bran says something like to Sam, "It's time to tell John." I'm like, why is now the time? Like he's been here for at least a day.
yeah. I guess because he was in the crypts next to his dead father, Stark, and then also Lyanna, his mom. I guess like he should have been told
Why he was down there in their
yes.
presence.
I think like with Sam, I think he just felt like it was obviously going to be news that was going to rock the boat. And I think he also thought too, like he wanted Bran to tell him because that's, you know, he's like, oh no, you're his brother. And then Bran's like, well, I'm not anymore. And they were like, okay. But,
well, and but was more his brother anyway.
Right. Yeah. So I think the way they set it up, it was really effective. I think having like, you know, Sam tell him after he finds the news about his family and what Daenerys did, I think that sort of helps belly the information in a way that we're remembering that Daenerys isn't perfect. And I think it really adds like a kind of a conflict to the show that maybe we've known of, but we really weren't sure if they were going to explore in this final season.
I really like how in that conversation between Sam and Jon at the end, where we're reminded, Jon reminds us that he never wanted the crown, and also that he gave it up. And Sam is like, well, no, I'm not talking about you being king of the North. I'm talking about you being king of the seven kingdoms. And I mean, obviously it gives Jon pause because, you know, what? That doesn't make any sense. But I think there is, I mean, we can talk all day about how Jon doesn't want to be like a king, but this is a little bit more of a different thing, you know? But I'm glad that we were reminded that, you know, he's someone who's never wanted that kind of power, but he somehow just keeps ending up with it.
I think it's almost like, you know, prophetic of him just being this, you know, leader and because of who he is or who he was born to be. But I also think what's really interesting too, and kind of like going off what you were saying, is how when Sam says to him, well, like, do you think like she would bend a knee just as easily as you did, like to save the people? And I think it was a rhetorical question, essentially, because no, she wouldn't. I don't think Daenerys will give up her power for anything.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys think the same thing or if.
Oh, no.
Well, maybe that's.
You don't think she would? Like, you think she would give it up for something?
But maybe that's if a character is on a journey for a season, maybe that needs to be her journey for the season, is that she needs to learn that she can give up something like that for the betterment of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's for the greater good, and because, I mean, she's smart enough to know, like, she's like a strategic, intelligent person. So I think if it's a situation where it's for the greater good, I think she would.
And I think it also comes from, like, she's been told her whole life, one, that, well, first off, her brother Viserys, or whatever his name was going to have was the heir to the throne. And then once he dies, she clearly thinks she's the heir to the throne. And she spent like the past 7 seasons with that belief and has never been told otherwise. So the revelation about Jon is going to throw a giant curveball at her, and we've never seen her confront that sort of information before, so maybe we don't know what she would do.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know what to expect from her with that news. I mean, because like you're saying, yeah, she has no reason to not believe that she has the right to the throne, like she does, according to her. And I mean, technically, if it weren't for Jon, yeah, she would. But now that we know, we are confirmed about Jon, I mean,
yeah,
I don't know, but I feel like I do think there is something like that she has, like, in relation to her father. I don't know. I mean, I'm playing like devil's advocate a bit, or maybe it's because I love Jon so much I kind of want him to take the throne. Like, sorry, but yeah.
Wasn't there a conversation between Tyrion and Davos and Varys about how maybe both of them would be on the throne?
Yeah, they were like proposing a proposal, essentially.
Yeah,
isn't that what they said?
Which that feels a little too optimistic for this kind of show, but maybe it's a possibility. Like, it could be a possibility that they both are in agreement that that's what's going to happen. Now, where, like, you know, maybe they don't both survive till the end of the show, but maybe they work together to reach that point. I don't know.
But I was confused because Davos is talking about how the Northerners don't trust outsiders, and then he's proposing that they marry. Like, is a marriage going to make the Northerners more trustworthy of her?
I think it would help.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would be like oh, like they'll all be cool with her all of a sudden. I don't think it'd be like that, but I think they would trust her more, and I think it would guarantee John's a position in power.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that's who they trust.
Yeah.
But I think that would obviously like it'd be a little fairy tale-ish. And now that he knows this, and I mean John's not the type of person who's like gonna use it against someone, you know? I don't know.
He's the thing is he's annoying me because I feel like and you know what's interesting? Sansa brought it up. She said, "Did you bend the knee for the North, or did you bend the knee because you love her?" I feel like he's so like hearts in my eyes emoji about Daenerys that it's just like he's coming off as just, yeah, I'm giving the North away. You know, she's a good person, but it's like I mean, like you've ridden the dragon in more ways than one.
Well, I think yes, but I also think he's always held fast to his belief in that they all need to fight together to beat the army of the dead. He's always been about not caring who's on the throne or who's in charge, as long as he has allies to defeat the army of the dead. That's been his song and dance since like day one.
Yeah.
And he tells people that. That's why he brought Daenerys to Winterfell. And I think it could be both. Like, he needs her help and also he loves her. And then, so going back to whether or not Dany would be willing to bend the knee to Jon, maybe, like, I think part of that you have to take into account the moment when both of them are riding the dragons. Because she can clearly like tell there's a connection there. She might not understand why or anything, but I think there's something there that she inherently believes in, you know?
Yeah, I was surprised that they actually showed us that in the first episode. And it was in a way where they're just like riding dragons because they're like on a mini date.
Yeah.
Because I thought like the first time we saw him riding a dragon would be like during the war. So that was an interesting choice of how they kind of like bonded and came together again while riding dragons.
And I like how it happens before he knows who his parents are. Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And
I think that moment, that scene is going to be very important for whenever Dany learns the truth about Jon as well.
She'll be like, oh, that's why it was a natural.
Yeah. Or when a dragon was like staring him down like that. That was weird.
That was a weird. They had like some weird comedic beats during this episode, and I was like, that was a weird moment for Game of Thrones. Like, it was like, because like he looked nervous, and it was supposed to be funny, I guess, but like, it kind of felt like a little flat for me, personally.
I think a little bit of their comedy in this episode was a little bit forced. I think they're trying to like kind of line up the tension just because like I think they anticipate audiences to be tense and like on the edge of their seat the entire time.
Or maybe they're trying to like make us happy before they tear our heart apart.
Yeah, I mean, no one really died in this episode except the poor Umber's kid. So and we don't. I mean, it's terrible seeing a child die. I'm not gonna like make light of that.
Did you peep that circle thing looked very much like her sigil, like the dragon sigil?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, that's interesting.
They've always looked like that though, like sort of connected to the Targaryen symbol, like three-headed dragon.
It could be a coincidence, or does it mean something? I don't know.
I mean, it could just be like sort of like I took it more as like a FU, like, you know, kind of thing.
Interesting.
Or like, or it's just like symbolic of this like merger of like fire and ice again.
Well, those symbols are actually from the Children of the Earth, or whatever they're called.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it could be
Yeah.
related to that.
What else happened in this episode? I feel like a lot. So there's Cersei and Euron finally got it on.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm so confused as to what her plan is. Because she's happy that the dead are walking through. She has her army. There are no elephants.
She's so delusional. Like,
And then she's planning to have her brothers murdered if they're not already killed up north. Like, what?
yeah. Like, I watched this with a friend of mine, and afterwards we were talking about this, and I was like, why does she think that moment when Qyburn tells her that the dead have broken through the wall, and she's like, good. I'm like, why does she think that's good? Like, I know, and like logically, she's thinking that they'll take care of each other, or that all of her northern enemies are gonna like be killed by the army of the dead. But why does she inherently believe that she's gonna escape all of that unscathed?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm like, why are you so delusional on this?
Yeah.
I was rewatching some of last seasons yesterday, and she said, so, you know, we submit and die or we fight and die. Like, and for her, I feel like she has so much pride, she'd rather die fighting than to like help the Northerners.
She's not fighting. She's staying in the South and pretending like nothing's gonna touch her.
Well, she has her army now, so I think she anticipates some kind of fight, whether it's with the Northerners or whether it's with the Night King. Like, she's just trying to prepare herself. I don't know. It's weird. I don't understand her plan because it's like either way she's choosing death. So
I think she just doesn't even realize she's choosing death. I think she thinks she's outsmarting them. Because I mean, if you think about it, her plans in the past have been pretty successful. I mean, she's usurped power, you know, several times. So I think she just feels like sort of has this invincibility to her. And sort of like this, there's also like a supernatural aspect to it as well. I think not like that she has powers, but that she's been able to have her minions sort of like use these like special things to kind of protect her, like like resurrecting the mountain, for instance. So I think that's like really what's like informing her delusions that she can survive this whole thing. But I do think you see that she's let down, that she gets shortchanged by the gold army, the gold company, I should say.
Because of elephants, because logically elephants can't cross the sea.
I was kind of see that too. I'm kind of bummed, like her, to see the elephants.
Yeah, it was like,
this isn't Lord of the Rings. Come on.
I know. So I feel like I don't know. I kind of don't know how she's gonna play into this, other than her just getting like completely killed and destroyed.
That's a confusing thing for me. I don't get what her plan is. I don't know what the writers are planning for her to do. It's weird.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was not like. In the past, I enjoy scenes in King's Landing, obviously, because there's always like weird soap opera dramatics going on, and it's probably because all the main reunions were happening in Winterfell, but I only wanted to stay in Winterfell during this episode. And for the most part we were. But some of the scenes in King's Landing, I think most of it has to do with like I just don't understand what you're trying to do, and I wanted to go back to Winterfell.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I just feel like those I mean, there's like a time limit on what's going on with Cersei, and I think at this point we're not that invested anymore. Like, we all feel she's going to die.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we'd be surprised if she survives at the end. So
her whole throne is tenuous, and I'm ready for it to be broken.
For Bronn, who she sends to go kill her brothers, I don't even think he's gonna do it. I think he's gonna end up joining them.
Yeah. I don't think so either.
He's smart to realize the wrong side here.
Well, he's the survivor. Like, I think he goes like on the winning side, and I think he'll know once he gets there like what's really going on. As for Jaime, he arrives at the end, and I think I really kind of liked how the episode ended, like him kind of coming face to face with Bran.
You guys realize, I didn't realize this until I was reading the Twitter thread, but when Bran tells Sam that he's waiting for an old friend.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize what he meant until I saw that on Twitter. I was like,
Mhm.
oh, okay, he meant Jamie. That's
Yeah.
kind of awkward. You pushed me out the window, dude.
Yeah, but
I'm
Brand's kind of above it all now. He doesn't care.
I know, but like for me as the audience member, like I still remember that, and that's kind of the
Mhm.
reason why I'm kind of like not all the way on the board because I know there's like a lot of Jamie fans, but I'll always remember that he pushed a little kid out the window.
Yeah.
because he was fucking his sister.
When
Yeah, exactly.
when Jamie was like looking around Winterfell, I feel like his internal monologue is like, man, I'm in this place again.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, here we go again. Yeah, I kind of got that too when I like just looked at his face.
Mhm.
But I think you're right about Bran being kind of like above it all, you know. I do think he kind of can see how Jamie will play a role in all this, and I don't know. I feel like it's not as simple. I think Jamie should be more afraid of like well all the Northerners and Daenerys, who's
Mhm.
seems to want justice for her father.
I mean, she knows her dad was evil. Like that preview was weird.
Yeah, that was a weird preview.
I thought, well, I think it's so we kind of know that episode 3 is going to be the big battle of Winterfell between like the dead and the living, right?
It's episode
So
3.
I thought it was gonna be episode. I thought it was gonna be the second to last episode or episode 4.
Oh my
I'm
I
god,
not
thought
sure.
everyone decided episode 3 was like Battle of Winterfell.
I didn't know that.
Okay. Yeah, I
Oh,
didn't know.
oh,
I just
oh, we
assumed
discussed that.
based on previous formulas.
Well,
No, I think I
well,
know we know that they're gonna dedicate like a whole entire episode to the battle,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. We don't know exactly which episode. I don't. At least I don't. I don't remember reading anything.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
either.
well, it looks like next week's episode will be like preparing for the dead to arrive because Tormund makes it there. Which the second Tormund appeared on screen, I'm like, how do you keep surviving things?
I know. It's like crazy.
When I saw the kid's eyes open and behind him, I'm like, oh wait, is this gonna be it for
Yeah,
him?
that was creepy. It was good.
I think the only thing we really didn't mention is Theon saving his sister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now that I think they're gonna be sort of that they're gonna stay at sea. Well, except for Theon. Theon's gonna go and fight for Winterfell and kind of redeem
I'm
himself for
surprised
betraying the
he let him
Starks.
go.
Do you think that was him choosing to go to Winterfell instead of staying by his sister's side? You remember that conversation between him and John in season 7 where I think John said something like you can choose to be like a Stark or a Greyjoy
Oh, yeah.
or something. So him going back to Winterfell is him choosing to be a Stark.
Yeah. Well, because John said last season you are a Greyjoy and you're a Stark.
Oh,
And he
exactly.
had
Yeah.
So
So he saved his sister.
he saved his sister, and now he has to go save his other family. The
Yeah.
Stark. Yeah.
That makes sense for him. I think he's gonna die. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Me too.
but at least Yara will be out at sea, so she's always an option in case things
I
really
know.
go south.
Right idea. Like, I'm gonna go back to the Iron Islands. If Daenerys can make it, she'll meet me there. I like that idea.
She's right. Like they're in the one spot that the dead might not be able to follow.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, couldn't the Night King fly the dragon over the water?
Yeah.
Yeah, but can he fly like his whole army?
No, his army can't, but
Yeah.
he can. So I
He can
mean,
probably fly.
Which I'm a little disappointed we didn't get to see them, the Night King and the.
They are saving that. Like, I guess they're saving that, and I legitimately want to see ice spiders big as hounds, like Old Man mentioned, like in season 1. I want to see the ice spiders. So hopefully
oh
we'll
no.
see that
The
with the
Hound.
Army of the Dead. Yeah. They are ice spiders as big as hounds.
Well,
Bird long then, and I'm like, that better pay off. I want to see them.
well, speaking of the Hound, I know
Yeah.
you're not talking about him, but him and Arya.
A
I
little
mean,
reunion, yeah. I love when he was like, "You're in cold, bitch, aren't you?" And he's like, "I guess that's why you've survived this long." I love that.
that was cool.
The best
Did
line.
anyone else think that Arya was flirting with Gendry?
I loved that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was a good moment. So, because
Cute.
that was so
Yeah.
good.
It was
I
cute.
know about flirting.
And we've all been waiting for this since like what, season 2?
Yeah.
So it was great to see.
So, putting my girly side on the table here, do you think they will share a kiss this season?
I think so.
Okay.
Put up the stakes.
Yeah. Like a little passionate, like before
Yeah.
we die in this
Before we
battle.
die.
I feel like
Oh,
I think that's warranted at this point, but you never know.
I love it.
Another thing I appreciated about this episode
Mhm.
was the Tyrion and Sansa reunion. Mostly
Yes,
because,
love it too.
well, they have a lot of history, but I really like how they address. So I think a lot of the criticisms about these past couple seasons is that Tyrion has felt like a character who doesn't really do anything anymore. Like in the first few seasons, he was a really great strategist
And
and
now he's not
whatever. But every plan he made for Daenerys kind of like fell through.
failed.
And so
Yeah.
it kind of feels like he's not really doing much. And I love the part where Sansa says, like, I used to think you were the cleverest man alive. And I think that addresses those criticisms a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. Because
That's cool.
those are the same things that I would think about Tyrion too. Like watching, like he's been a pretty like shitty hand, really. And I love that she kind of like calls him out. Like, you believe your sister? Like, you think she's gonna ride up here with her army? I used to think like it was great.
And that's another point in Sansa's court too, because like Tyrion may be related to his sister, but Sansa learned from her. She knows him better than he does her, or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I do think that Sansa, I think she's definitely smarter, like kind of like what Arya was saying. And I think that, you know, now people shouldn't really be underestimating her because I think everyone's kind of gotten used to doing that. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what else she does, and I'm excited to see more like Daenerys and Sansa scenes and Arya and stuff, like, to see that tension.
So I think we're ready for our segments.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me present. The first segment is Reek of the Week, basically your least favorite character. So can pick one that you really thought kind of reeked and let us know why.
Cersei, because I don't understand what she's doing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. I feel like that is one that I think so as well. Besides the new intro, which people like, but I don't really like it.
What? Oh, why?
I don't know, because I feel like it's like much faster now, and I don't have time to like see like the city name, and you can't see the direwolf on top of Winterfell anymore, which is like, what? They were so hard to get it back. So I feel away. I do like seeing like inside the castles and the crypts, but they shortened it, and I used to love like seeing like the whole map, and now it's only like 2 places, which is creepy because everyone's like only in 2 places now. It's Winterfell or King's Landing. So it's interesting, but I guess I'll just get used to it.
Want to.
I liked it. I mean, I thought it was different, and it kind
really
of
modern though. Like, do you think it fits like the ancient looking world of Westeros?
I mean, I think they just got like the CGI is different on it, I guess. I don't know. I really liked it. I thought it was different, kind of freaked me out a bit, but so your week of the week is the opening credits.
I think of like nice symmetrical bookends, like the first season to the last season, and it's like you have a bookend that doesn't match the other bookend for your like bookshelf. That's how I feel about it. So they changed it completely. It's like, what? It threw me off.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll get used to it.
I think my week of the week is probably Theon. No, not Theon. Euron. Just because I felt like he's just annoying, and I kind of just want him to die and go away already.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like I would hate. I know they have to kind of like resolve his storyline, but I just don't care. Like, just like kill him and let's move on. Like, I think we all kind of seen him go face to face with Yara already, and I mean, and this way he's, you know, trying to like get one up over on Cersei. And yeah, I just don't care like about him at this point.
I think it was a little bit funny when Yara was still tied up on his boat and she was like, why don't you just kill me? And literally his reason was, because then I won't have anyone to talk to.
He's bored.
I thought that was kind of funny, but it doesn't matter anymore because she's not. Really.
Yeah, like she's saved now. So, and I mean, he might catch up with her and they might have like one final showdown, but I don't care at this point. Okay, so our next segment is Lord or Lady Commander. So basically the MVP of the episode. So who is your favorite character or performance of the episode?
Oh, we can do performance too.
Well, I mean, sometimes they're one and the same. Yeah. I think, you know.
I feel like I'm going between the Stark sisters for different reasons. I liked seeing Arya's flirty side. Like I thought that was like a joyful moment. I just loved her line when she was like, "You haven't met other rich girls." I just really love that. And I really like Sansa. She has to be I feel like she has to be distrustful so that she can play this out smart, and she's kind of calling out things that need to be called out upon. And she called out Tyrion, she called out Jon. I think she's still learning to be a leader, and she's just trying to protect her home and her family. So yeah, Sansa or Arya. Sansa, leaning Sansa.
I'm going to choose mine based off of performances, and I have two. So the first one is John Bradley, who plays Sam. When he is met with, or when he meets Daenerys for the first time, which is a really cool scene just to have them both in the room, and with Jorah there, since him and Jorah have like a history. But like watching him take in the news that Daenerys killed his father and also his brother was really emotional, and he did a great job on that with like the nuanced reactions of hearing about his father whom he hated and then his brother who he liked. So that was cool. And then also Kit Harington for Jon, mostly in the scene where Sam tells him about his parents. Also really emotional.
Yeah. For me, yeah, I agree that John Bradley's performance was the best. I mean, the way he kind of took the news of hearing about his family, and then the way he sort of like adamantly told Jon like the truth, that was, I think, really probably the most captivating part of the episode for me. But I guess like if I had to pick like just like a character I just like really truly enjoyed as well, I think it would be Arya. This year back at Winterfell, with like everyone around and everything's going on, it definitely reminded me of like the first season in a way, but she's now older. And I was also a little worried about her because, you know, for a few seasons we thought she, you know, was a girl with no name. And I feel like you could really, you feel like her coming really back to her Stark identity. I mean, she's obviously grown and she's learned a lot. But at the same rate, I do think that she doesn't feel as lost as she was before. And I kind of really enjoyed seeing her just back at home and reuniting with Jon and seeing Gendry and all that.
Also, the look on her face when she sees the dragons for the first time.
Oh, yeah, that was amazing. I was like doing the same thing. You've never seen these dragons for how many seasons already?
She did in that moment. She did feel like a season 1 Arya who's like excited about cool stuff like that.
New arrival in her house. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So our next segment is Swing the Sword, which is basically who you want to die. Sometimes this is kind of also your REEK of the week, which it might be for me too. But yeah, it's like, who do you feel should just get the axe? You know, soon.
Trying to think about all the scenes and what.
I think, Gabby, I think you already said this one, but you're on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, why is he still here?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he looks like a pirate,
That's what he is.
but yeah, he is a pirate, but
Yeah.
uh, I'm like over it. So yeah, he's also my swinger of the sword. I feel like, I mean, obviously there are people who I want, to get the axe, but I just feel like, I don't know, for me, I'm like all about like not wasting time on people I don't care about or kind of don't want to see some sort of like resolution or battle or whatever. And he's definitely just one that, yeah, I'm done with it.
I don't know. I don't have an answer. I don't want to say Cersei because I feel like killing her off right now would be really boring. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't want to say Cersei. I don't know. I'm gonna say John because after Sam kind of told him about how Daenerys executed, he kind of makes up an excuse for his girlfriend. He's like, "Well, I've killed people who disobeyed me." So it's like stuff like that that I don't like when people make excuses for bad
But
behavior in their relationships.
but I like
I
I'm kind
understand. It's
I'm
just me
kind
being petty. He's annoying me right now.
of
But I get it. Like he's like a good guy, but he's being annoying. He didn't really offer enough sympathies for Sam's family, I feel. Like Sam's a good guy. He is your best friend, like your brother. He didn't really like comfort him enough, in my opinion.
I
So
don't think there was too much going on in that for him to be really like. I mean, he said he was sorry. I'm gonna be making so many excuses for John. I'm sorry.
No,
I
I'm in
know
the
I'm
same boat.
talking John fan. It's hard, but it's like I feel like Sam has like done so much for him, has risked so much for him, and he had to stand there listening to this new queen saying that she's executed his family, and John just makes an excuse. It's like could be a little bit more sensitive to him. Like you've known him longer than you've known Danny, so I just thought it was, you know, that's just my feelings on it. I'm just being petty. It's fine.
Well, let's just hope he doesn't die, or at least, I don't know. Like, well, doesn't die again, I guess you should
That was
say.
also me trying not to choose like the obvious people like Euron or Cersei. I was like, how can I make this interesting?
True.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for changing it up.
Yeah.
All right. So our final segment is Green Sight, which is where we kind of present a theory or prediction that we think, may happen before the end of the series, based off what we learned in this episode.
I'm gonna predict somebody big dies episode 2.
And yeah, they took it easy on us this
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
Like, do you
Not for any
know?
reason besides we've got to move this along. It's only 5 more episodes. Lots of people have to die, so I think like the first big one will be like in the next episode. So I think that's what happened so far.
Mm, who do you think it would be?
Oh my god. Oh my, I don't know. Maybe, oh my god, maybe Daenerys has somebody killed, and then like the Northerners really don't like her, and then like that causes a bigger issue up in the North.
I guess. I mean, that could. I mean, especially like given Sam's conversation about how John has showed people mercy when they haven't been to the knee to him, and
Yeah,
then kind of Daenerys sort of lives up to that word of her just not like giving mercy to anyone who doesn't follow
yeah,
her. I mean that,
yeah.
yeah.
I think if not a big death, then maybe like a big mistake. Like maybe she does something that really pushes them over the edge about her and stuff. So maybe something
Hmm.
like yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
Hmm.
For me, I don't know. I mean, I guess my theories were sort of in line with that. I think there's going to be something that's going to push that Daenerys is going to do that's going to push John to kind of really consider his role and who he is and actually use it to protect people. Because I think ultimately, I think he does love Daenerys a lot. And I think he is a bit blinded by her love. But I think the more he's in Winterfell and the more he's with his family and the people of the North, he's going to remember what matters. And that is surviving this like White Walker zombie apocalypse thing.
Do you think he's gonna have an identity crisis for the rest of the season?
Yeah. I mean, I think he is, but I don't know how they're going to do that. I don't know if they're going to give it
You have
enough
to have
time.
time for that. Yeah, like
Yeah.
time does he have to worry about who am I really? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like tough. It's weird.
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, I'm just sort of like, part of me wishes this happened last season.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I have no idea how they're gonna give him time to like process that information. I mean, I think he's just gonna sort of be more reactionary with it and use it when he feels like he needs to use it in order to, again, help his people survive. Because at the end of the day, I think that's like the only thing that matters is like helping everyone survive. And I think he's willing to sacrifice his relationship with Daenerys to do so. I don't know. Not so, I don't really, like he said, he's not really interested in being keen, but he would use it in order to help people.
Yeah. Yeah. So she may fuck up like in a big way, and he's like, "Oh man, maybe I do have to take this." You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Probably.
Katey,
Do you have any,
What?
do you have
do you
any predictions, theories?
No. I was trying to think. I at least nothing specific for like next episode.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just yeah. I have no idea. I
Do you
need more time to think.
I know. It's like we're all kind of just in this mode of processing. And
Mm.
do you guys think that they're gonna like do anything with Jamie?
I mean, he's gonna fight in the Winterfell battle because that was in the teaser trailer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's gonna survive whatever like Inquisition he's dealing with next week.
Yeah. Yeah. He will.
I think that's interesting. I think Brienne. We haven't seen Brienne.
I
Oh,
know.
God, in the background
Or
of
Podrick.
the scenes.
Yeah, but yeah,
Um,
I think she's gonna kind of come and sort of maybe speak on his behalf. You think so, or?
maybe.
Part of me, I don't know if this is just because in my head there's like 5 episodes left. I'm like, I know the show has been all about the political drama and the drama between like betrayals of families in the past and whatever, which is going to come head to head next episode when Daenerys confronts Jaime about how he killed her father, right? But part of me is like, I don't want to deal with this because there's, big sci-fi action coming our way.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's definitely something to consider. Yeah, I don't know. It's like at this point, like I'm expecting certain things, but at the same rate, I don't really know what to
Yeah.
expect
I
in
try
terms
to
of
not really have expectations. I'm just like along for the ride. I just want to see like how are they gonna wrap this up.
right.
Yeah.
So I think we're ready to wrap up. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you everyone for watching. Here is our information on the screen. You can subscribe to us at TYF Official on YouTube. We are going to be airing live every week after the Game of Thrones airing on the East Coast. You can follow us at Queens __ landing on Twitter, at TYF Official. And then our handles are listed as well as in the bio. And yeah, again, thank you for joining us. Leave comments on your thoughts, and we're really excited to sort of see where the season ends up. It's definitely going to be like a ride.
The ride.
Okay, good night.
Good night. Bye guys. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.